In it, the use of force is confined to just combatants. Only those people who are participating in hostilities in the battlefield, who are actively participating in warfare, and not the people, the civilian population or the nation belonging to that particular country. I am trying to clarify this. Some people are confused. They say, for example, we are at war with that country, or that country is at war with us. And since we are at war, so we have every right to do whatever we want against their people. That's wrong. Then you should announce to get rid of Islam and to get out of the ambit of Islam. Please don't use the name of Quran and Sunnah and Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you claim to be Muslim, you have to keep yourself under the guidance and umbrella of the teachings of Quran and the teachings of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Holy Prophet said, we will quote the references, that even during the warfare which has been started by a state to state, use of force is totally, absolutely not allowed against non-combatants. Even against the people who belong to the state who is at war with you. You can fight in battlefield, you can do whatever you want to do against the soldier in the battlefield, you have every right. But you have no right, according to Islam, to hit and to target the non-combatants, the peaceful civilians of any country. Maybe your enemy country, maybe it's your enemy, maybe the country is at war, maybe their country, the state, the army is committing unjust acts. So, as a revenge, you cannot be allowed as the Ummah of Holy Prophet Muhammad, Ummah of Rahmatul lil Alameen, Ummah of the mercy of the whole world. You cannot be allowed to target the civilian population of their country, even if they have done this mistake. So mistake, a wrong act cannot be a revenge for a wrong act acceptable to Islam. You cannot hit their population, their civilians, non-combatants. So this is the second basic principle. And the third basic principle is that there are some paramedics and many other groups of non-combatants. They get the privilege of non-combatants, although they are supporting the combatants. They may be ambassadors and diplomats of the same country who is at war. They may be the medical corps. They can be supporting staff, including nurses, servants, cooks, suppliers of civil provisions, very old soldiers, sick soldiers, the injured persons. Actually, those who are not actually participating in the warfare, but they are supporting them indirectly. Even according to the teachings of Islam and the Sunnah of Holy Prophet and Khulafa Rashidin, you cannot target them. You cannot hit them. This is the position of the mercy given by Islam. This is the concept of compassion of Islam. This is the concept of the peace and love of Islam given by Holy Prophet and Quran. Unfortunately, it has never been properly appreciated, neither by the Muslims in general nor by the Westerners, the non-Muslims. On both sides, we have to clarify the mind in order to create a peaceful human atmosphere on this world. And in order to create a good relations based on good understanding, we should understand each other. If some criminals may be here, criminals are not in the Muslim world. They do live in America. American born can also be a criminal. They were bomb blasted by the Americans here. Criminal terroristic activities were done and committed by some Americans. Because of those few criminal people, the whole nation or America cannot be blamed. In the same way, because of some criminals living in Muslim world and claiming to be Muslims wrongly, Blame cannot be given to Muslim Ummah or Islam. Criminals are criminals. They have no religion. They have no culture. They are enemy of humanity. Read in book. So we have to take their case separately. We need, in order to establish a peaceful atmosphere, our American brothers, government, State Department, and Western governments, I would advise them that for the sake of world peace, they should de-link Islam with criminal activities and terrorism. They should, the Americans and the British and the Europeans and Westerners, for the sake of world peace and peace for humanity, they should de-link Islam and religion of Islam from terrorism. There is no Islamic terrorist. Terrorist is terrorist, he is not Islamic. You can't say, you never say Christian thief. You never say Jew robber. You never say Islamic thief, Islamic murderer, Christian murderer. You never say the Jewish corrupt, Islamic corrupt. No, the evil is evil. Evil has no link with any religion, maybe Jewish religion or Christian religion or Islamic religion. So this term should never be used, because this term provides them ground of justification. This term supports the terrorists. When you attach the term of Islam with their act of terrorism, they say, you see, the Western world considers us to be Muslims. We are real representatives of Muslim Ummah. In this way, you are supporting their agenda. So we should avoid saying Islamic terrorists or Islamic fundamentalists or Islamic extremists. All these terms should be segregated from Islam, and Islam should be totally segregated from that, because these things provide them the support which they use in order to mislead the younger generations. So, third principle is, this is the Islamic position, that all these people are exempted. The fourth principle is that even during warfare, you can't commit an act of treachery. You can't break the promises. You can't do a wrongful act. That's why Quran says, during warfare, La ta'tadu, inna Allah la yuhibbul mu'tadin. Don't transgress. Don't cross the limits. This is the religion of Islam which has placed even the limits in warfare. Whereas in modern world, we say that everything is permissible in love and war. Everything is permissible. Every wrong is permissible in war and love. Islam says no. No wrong is permissible, neither in love, neither nor in war. Wrong is wrong. Islam speaks of heights of morality. Islam speaks of very high level of ethical values, a very higher level of human spiritual values. Islam speaks of heights of the morality of humanity. That's why during the warfare, the last aspect of my talk today, even during the warfare, when a proper warfare, defensive warfare is going on, and armies and the combatants and militaries are fighting against one another. They are fighting in the battlefield. At that time, Holy Prophet said, and I'm quoting just because the time is short, I'm just giving you briefly. Holy Prophet said that killing of women is banned. Number one. Holy Prophet said, it is reported by Abdullah bin Umar. Holy Prophet said, killing of kids and children is banned. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, your blood, O people, O people. He didn't say, O Muslims. He said, O people, your blood, your property, your honor are inviolable, are sacred, like the inviolability and sacredness of this day of your Hajj, this month of Hajj, and this land of your, the land of Kaaba. The life, property and honor of every single soul, human being, is as sacred as Kaaba of Almighty. Then Holy Prophet said, Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu narrates, Holy Prophet said, Man qatala mu'ahadan lam yarih rahiyat al-jannah wa inna rihaha tujadu min masirati arba'ina aman. Anyone who kills a non-Muslim citizen, who is a non-combatant, Holy Prophet said, a Muslim killer of a non-Muslim, peaceful person, non-combatant, said that Muslim will never smell the fragrance of paradise. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said that any person who hurts a non-Muslim citizen, just considering him as a non-Muslim, and he hurts him, he said, I shall be the opponent of the Muslim on the day of judgment. And I will fight the case of non-Muslim in his favor against the Muslim.
Nare Takbir! Nare Risalat! Nare Haidari!
Then Holy Prophet ﷺ further said, and this was the practice of the companions of Holy Prophet ﷺ. He said that be careful, don't kill the merchants. Even they belong to the pagan Arab society, they belong to the mushrikeen, because they provide food to the people. Don't kill them. وَكَانُوا لَا يَقْتُلُونَ التُّجَّارَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Then Holy Prophet said, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ فِي الْفَلَّاحِينَ فَلَا تَقْتُلُوهُم. Fear God regarding the farmers. Don't kill the farmers even during the warfare, because they provide the agricultural commodities to the people. They provide the sustenance to the people, and they provide the provisions and sources for the life of the people. And you are fighting against non-Muslims and kuffar. And during warfare, Holy Prophet is saying, don't kill their farmers and don't kill their trade persons. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said, don't kill the shuyukh and ruhban. Don't kill the people who are their religious leaders and who are elderly. Don't kill them. Then Holy Prophet ﷺ said, don't kill all non-combatants. Just take into consideration the glorious character of Holy Prophet ﷺ. When he entered back in Mecca after the victory of Mecca, where 8 years of continuous imposition of battles and wars had passed. Every single year, the Meccan armies were fighting an oppressive war against Medina and Holy Prophet, and he was always on defense, for the last 8 years, till he conquered the Mecca without any bloodshed. The people of Mecca, they were absolutely scared, and they were thinking now nobody would be left unrevenged. When Holy Prophet arrived there, he said, Man dakhala dar Abi Sufyan fahuwa aminun, wa man alqa salah fahuwa aminun, wa man aghlaqa babahu fahuwa aminun. Holy Prophet announced, said, whoever enters the house of Abu Sufyan, the biggest enemy of Holy Prophet up till that time, he said he would be safe. Who enters the house of my enemy, just giving a message that he is not ready to fight anymore, he is safe. He said, whoever lays down his weapon and gives the message